not mitigating CO2 emissions, and destroying our biodiversity, we are killing our planet.
Ultimately, the emergency of climate comes down to a single number: the concentration of carbon in our atmosphere. The measure that greatly determines global temperature.
Oh, you can feel the heat. This is insane. Oh my God.
Attitudes have changed rapidly because everyone can see for themselves the climate change that is occurring.
A child born today will witness across her lifetime a planet transformed by rising temperature.
I got you.
But 3 degrees of global warming would be catastrophic.
Can you move back?
Just careful with his claws.
Don't fire. Can you get water out of my car?
Do you want to put him in the blanket and bring him out of the hot stuff?
Alright. We'll get
It is unequivocal that human activities are responsible for climate change. That's the finding of a new study by the UN's Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. It's the most up-to-date assessment of how global warming will change the world in the coming decades.
Planet-warming greenhouse gas CO2 from our atmosphere must be urgently ramped up. That's according to leading climate experts in a new report.
Well, Sir David talked there about the wildfires that have devastated parts of Australia. Hundreds are still burning, mainly across the southeast of the country, where the authorities are desperately trying to prevent them from spreading further. There are at least 8 weeks of the bushfire season still ahead.
This week, one growing concern was amplified by a new scientific study. German researchers found much higher rates of plastic particles in Arctic sea ice than were previously known, a form of contamination that, though small, threatens life throughout the region.
We begin this morning with breaking news. A tsunami advisory
It is unequivocal that human activities are responsible for climate change.
Devastating
Planet-warming
of
greenhouse
Australia.
gas
Hundreds
CO2
are
from our
still burning,
atmosphere
mainly
must be
across the
urgently
southeast
ramped up.
where the authorities
Most
are
up-to-date
desperately
assessment of
trying to
how global
Planet-warming
warming
greenhouse
will
gas
change
CO2 from our atmosphere must be urgently ramped up.
Nature's beauty knows no bounds, and it manifests in various forms that captivate our hearts and stir our souls. The majestic mountains, their towering peaks reaching for the heavens. These colossal giants adorned with blankets of snow or draped in lush greenery instill a sense of awe and insignificance within us. The sheer magnitude of their presence beckons us to explore, to scale their summits and embrace the breathtaking vistas that unfold before us. Stepping into the lush embrace of a forest is like entering a different realm altogether. Towering trees from a verdant canopy, filtering sunlight and casting enchanting patterns on the forest floor. The symphony of bird song and the gentle rustle of leaves create a harmonious melody that soothes the spirit. Ancient and wise, forests are teeming with life, providing sanctuary for countless species. Venturing into the desert, a contrasting beauty reveals itself. Endless stretches of golden sand dunes shimmer under the scorching sun, a testament to resilience and adaptability. In this arid landscape, life thrives in unexpected ways, with resilient flora and fauna carving out an existence amidst the harsh conditions. The desert's tranquil silence and seemingly infinite expanse inspire contemplation, inviting us to find solace in simplicity and solitude. The Northern Lights, nature's celestial masterpiece, dancing across the night sky in display of vibrant hues. These luminous ribbons of light inspire, wonder, and ignite our imaginations. All these awakens our senses, reminds us of our place in the universe, where we belong, and encourages us to cherish and protect the natural world that sustains us all. It is in nature's embrace that we find inspiration, a renewed sense of appreciation for the exquisite wonders that surrounds us.
We are sinking, but so is everyone else. And no matter if we feel the impacts today, like in Tuvalu, or in 100 years, we will all still feel the dire effects of this global crisis one day. In Tuvalu, our islands are sacred to us. They contain the mana of our people. They were the home of our ancestors. They are the home of our people today. And we want them to remain the home of our people into the future. This is why this call to you from Tuvalu is not just a political statement. It is a call that reverberates from our 8 islands and our 12,000 people to the international community.
point is that me and my generation will live to see the consequences of our actions today. Yet none of what we discussed today seems practical to me. You are deciding whether or not we will have a chance to live in a habitable world. You are deciding whether or not we are worth fighting for.
How many more voices and how many more pictures of people must we see on these screens without being able to move? Or are we so blinded and hardened that we can no longer appreciate the cries of humanity? In my lifetime, I've witnessed a terrible decline. In yours, you could and should witness a wonderful recovery. That desperate hope, ladies and gentlemen, delegates, excellency, is why the world is looking to you and why you are here.
இந்த பூமி எடுக்கும்போது ஒரு வெட்ட வெளி ஒன்றுமே கிடையாது. ஒரு பனைமரங்களும் ஒரு சிறிய ஒரு என்ன சொல்கிறது அல்பிஜா வெரைட்டி ஒரே ஒரு மரமும் 2 டேமரின் ட்ரீஸ் தான் இருந்தது. ஒன்றுமே இல்லை. நான் வந்த காலத்தில் தண்ணி கூட இல்லை. நான் பக்கத்தில் இருக்கிற நேபர்கிட்ட போய் குளிச்சுட்டு தண்ணி குடிக்கிறதுக்கு பண்ணி கொண்டாந்துருவேன். அது ஒரு குறுகிய காலம் தான். இந்த வெட்ட வெளியாக இருந்த ஒரு டெசர்ட்டான இடத்த முதல் படியிலேருந்து வேலையை ஆரம்பித்தோம். 4 ஆண்டு காலம் ஓய்வு இல்லாமல் வேலை செய்யும். காலையில் போய் வேலை பெறுக்கிறது, ஒரு பக்கம் நர்சரி வேலை செய்கிறது, அப்புறம் அணமடிக்கிறது கூடவே இருந்து செஞ்சதுனால இன்றைக்கி காடு உங்களுக்கு எல்லாம் சிறப்பாக தெரியுது.
मेरा नाम रामवीर तंवर है और मैं खराब हो चुके या मर चुके तालाबों को फिर से रिवाइव करने में लगा हुआ हूँ। तो इसलिए क्लीन ड्राइव का एक आइडिया आया, फिर तालाबों को रिवाइव करना शुरू किया। सबसे बड़ा चैलेंज तो था कि लोगों को विश्वास दिलाना कि हाँ हम इसे कर सकते हैं। धीरे धीरे मदद जुटना शुरू हुआ, लोगों ने सपोर्ट करना शुरू हुआ। तालाब के नीचे सतह पे पूरा प्लास्टिक जमा हुआ है। मैनुअली टूल्स की मदद से और मशीन की मदद से पहले उसको हटाया जाता है जितना पॉसिबल हो पाता है। तालाब का गहरीकरण होता है जिससे कि जो तालाब की वाटर स्टोरेज कैपेसिटी है वो बढ़ाई जा सके। तो इस तरह से पूरे तालाब को रिवाइव किया जाता है। जब एक तालाब को रिवाइव करते हैं उससे ग्राउंड वाटर रिचार्ज होता है, वाटर साइकिल मेंटेन रहती है, इकोसिस्टम एक जनरेट होता है वहाँ पे।
We've actually partnered with another organization called Eden Reforestation Projects. You might imagine that this whole area used to be forested with mangroves in the past. It was cut down over a number of decades to be used as timber for various projects, construction, boat and charcoal production. One of the first things that happens when mangroves are cut down is that all the mud is lost. There's no root structure to hold that mud in place anymore, and when the tide ebbs and flows it carries that mud back out to sea and you lose that nutritional value.
Towed at a very slow speed, about 1.5 knots, by 2 large vessels through the ocean, catching floating ocean plastic along the way. The barrier extends about 3 meters below the surface and is completely open in the center, allowing for fish to escape by simply swimming down below the barrier. As water flows through the system, the plastic gets pushed to the center, which acts like a collection area, which the ocean cleanup calls the retention zone. After a period of time, the vessels connect both ends of the giant loop to one ship, while the other ocean cleanup vessel maneuvers to the retention zone and pulls in the net, collecting and later sorting the plastic pollution before bringing it back to shore to be processed into pelletized plastic for manufacturing recycled goods.
বিভিন্ন চারা লাগানো হচ্ছে মায়েদের নিয়ে। আমরা এখানে সবাই চারা লাগাচ্ছি। বিভিন্ন আমাদের সুন্দরবনে বিভিন্ন ঝড় বা সাইক্লোন আমাদের এখানে আসে, তার জন্য বাঁধ রক্ষা করার জন্য আমরা মায়েরা মিলে আমরা এখানে সবাই আজ চারা রোপণ করছি।
The rate of net forest loss decreased substantially over the period 1990 to 2020 due to a reduction in deforestation in some countries plus increases in forest area in others through afforestation and the natural expansion of forests. A 2019 study of the global potential for tree restoration showed that there is space for at least 9 million kilometers square of new forests worldwide, which is a 25% increase from current conditions. This forested area could store up to 205 gigatons of carbon or 25% of the atmosphere's current carbon pool by reducing CO2 in the atmosphere and introducing more O2. There is no doubt that human civilization has had a negative impact on biodiversity, particularly since the Industrial Revolution. Overfishing and hunting, the destruction of habitats through agriculture and urban sprawl, the use of pesticides and herbicides, and the release of other toxic compounds into the environment have all taken their toll, particularly on vertebrates. The World Conservation Union now includes more than 16,000 entries in its red list, 5,624 vertebrates, 2,101 invertebrates, and 8,390 plants. The number of documented extinctions since 1500 AD is now at 784 species. And the IUCN estimates that extinction rates are now 50 to 500 times higher than previous rates calculated from the fossil records. The entire documentary and the debate across global platforms is about climate change and global warming, which undeniably is a process that our planet is undergoing. Another aspect that is least spoken about is stable climate, since climate change somewhere is a natural process. However, what is of critical concern is the man-induced climate change. We owe it to the children and newborns of this generation and the generations that are yet to come to witness. Since we do not inherit the earth from our ancestors, we borrow it from our children. And lastly, the goal of life is an agreement with nature. Although the planet can never return to its pristine form, we can play a big role in the restoration of the planet to its healthier form by way of a concerted effort.